Hello everyone, what is good? Today we're going to have a very open discussion about representation, right? This video is about representation in the form of imagery and visuals that is often not there as creators, as photographers and filmmakers or designers when we're trying to create a work of art, maybe a flyer, a video, whatever it is that we're trying to create, and we aren't able to find images that represent the story that we're trying to tell. So let me just get into it. I've been a photographer for over 5 years now. I don't know, about 4 or 5 years. And even way before then, like, I've been playing around with Photoshop and creating flyers and designs from a very young age, right? And I remember even back in those days, I'm not that old, but back in those days, it was really hard to find an image of someone who's black. It's very hard to find images of people in the Caribbean or just like high quality, really good images that you want to use in your work. And hard in the sense of finding a variety of relevant images, right? So the images of black people are there, but they're not there in variety, and they may not represent what you're trying to tell. Like, you might find a picture of a black man, for example, but you might not be able to find a black man riding a bicycle, doing an activity. It's really hard, and that was way back then. But even up until last year, I think it was last year, I was trying to create a video to kind of visualize this poem that I wrote. So I write poetry sometimes when my head kind of tip me and I kind of get into a certain mood. I start writing how I'm feeling, okay? And I wanted to visualize that using stock videos. So I'm like, okay, let me go on Video Blocks. That's very popular on YouTube. And see if I can find some videos that could visualize what I'm trying to do. So I head on Video Blocks, and there is a lot of content on there, right? So what I was looking for was an image, or the first thing was an image of this girl kind of like rushing into the ocean. The poem starts off like, I want to go swimming in the ocean, right? That's the first line of the poem. So I want a video of a girl running into the ocean. So I typed in girl, running, ocean, whatever keywords, and I'm flooded with images of girls on the beach. But the problem for me was that these were all white women running into the ocean. So I'm scrolling, I'm looking through, and I can't find like one image. And I say image and videos interchangeably, right? But I can't find one good footage of a black woman running into the ocean. And I want you guys to check it out for yourself. Go on Video Blocks, go on any stock photo site, and just type in just some activity. It doesn't matter. Type in like swimming or I don't know. Y'all can come up with something. Type in whatever activity and see the images of people that come up and the racial background of that person or the cultural background of that person. 99.9% of the time it will be white. I haven't checked the stats, but I've been doing this long enough to know that that's a thing. The only way you're really going to find an image video of a black person is if you type in black person. If you type in black woman or black man, then you're going to see pictures. You're going to see a few, and then you might see some black and white images of white people. So that is how it is. Like, when you're trying to find images to tell your story, you're always going to find just white people. And nothing's wrong with that if that's the type of story that you want to tell. But if you're trying to tell a story that represents yourself, your story, or the story of your community, stories that represent just you and your cultures, your cultural expressions, like, you're just not going to find it in those places. You're just really not. And it's just crazy how after all this time that I have been alive, no one has created something But the good thing about that is that it's an opportunity for us to create something for ourselves. And that's exactly what I did. I decided that I'm going to release my collection out into the world. So as I said, I've been doing photography, and I recently started making videos, but I've been doing it for the past 4 or 5 years. Before that, I used to take pictures on my Droid. What was it? Motorola Droid. Y'all know that red cute phone? Like, I love that phone, and I used to take pictures on that and use the Visco edit VSCO to edit the photos. So I've been doing this a really long time, and I have a lot of photos that I know people will be interested in, that I know people are looking for. So I decided to release my collection on my new website called culture.studio. It's culture.studio. I'll link it below. So I really want to encourage all photographers and videographers who create imagery that represents various ethnicities and various cultural expressions to submit that out into the world and allow people to use those images to create a more representative story, because it matters. It really does matter. And I don't think I have to get into why it matters, but it just does. Think about the fact that if it didn't matter, we wouldn't have just one type of imagery out there. If it truly didn't matter, like what type of person we use to represent what, then there would just be all type of things out there, right? It would just be random. You know, we'll see pictures of albinos, we'll see pictures of black persons in, I don't know, Australia, we'll see pictures of, you know, Asians and wherever. If it didn't matter, that would be widely accessible, but it's not, because clearly the people who are telling the story, they feel they need to represent it in one type of way. But it's 2020 now. We have more people out there telling their stories. We have more platforms out there that's allowing more people to tell their stories. So I really think it just should be easier and easier for people to do so. And everyone that is within like listening distance, I forget the phrase, anyone who can hear the sound of my voice right now, and you're a photographer and a videographer, or you make any type of art really, I really encourage you to put it out there, because a lot of other creators could really use that to tell their stories and to represent their brands better and to just represent their audience better. I know that there's one other website out there called Create Her Stock, that's been providing imagery of black women. So if you're looking for specifically that type of image, then go and check that out. It's a very beautiful website, and of course I love the mission, so I'm gonna support it. But that's the only other one that I know of, aside from the one that I've just released. That's the only thing that I know about. So yeah, you guys, release your own, put your collections out there. If you guys want to collaborate with Culture Studio, you let me know. You can earn a commission from that as well. But honestly, like, I just want to get the message out there, because there is not a person that I have spoken to about this who did not relate in some way or form. Like, they weren't even a videographer or designer, but they know that if they're ever trying to if they're creating just a quick project, like a quick website, and they want to find an image, they know how hard it is to find it. There's other images out there, but the collection is so limited that you end up seeing the same images over and over again. So then you have pages that are reusing the same type of imaging for their branding, and it just doesn't help them to stand apart from the crowd. There's just a whole bunch of issues with that. And then there's the issue of not being able to find not just black people, but even like in Jamaica, you're trying to tell the story. Let's say you want to find a picture of someone in school, for example, a child in school. You're not going to find like the correct image of a Jamaican school child, right? That looks very different from how a child going to school in America would look. And so you end up having to use images that just is completely culturally different. So yeah, everyone has this issue. So I think it would be really good if people will join me on this mission to just put your work out there and allow other people to use it to tell their stories. Y'all understand? Y'all understand? I know if you made it to this far of the video, you relate to what I'm saying. So yeah, so let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, it's clearly a very pervasive issue, but I want to know what you think about it. Does representation truly matter to you? Like, are you okay with using images that are not culturally or racially representative of the story that you're telling? Is that okay with you? Does it not really matter? Let's have a discussion about it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, I'm out. Later, y'all.